proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla wins your guide to picking winners. Godzilla wins on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla food has to say. Presented by West Virginia SportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah.
Okay, everybody, this is going to be a great show. Welcome to another award-winning edition of Godzilla Wins. Fasten your seatbelts, lace them up, and lace them tight. We got a lot to go over today. I want to introduce our panel, now renowned throughout America. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Fredericks, your host, sitting in for Mitch Rogers, who Mitch will be back next week. And, of course, Mitch, starting on August 28th, opening the Big Ten, hosting Mountaineer Tailgate. That's our 2-hour pregame show before every single Mountaineer games. Whenever the game is on, 2 hours ahead of time, Mitch is going to be there from the press box into the parking lot. Don't want to miss it, not a minute if you're a WVU fan. And let me introduce our panel. With me, Brendan Statler, crack writer for WV Sports Nation. Go to WVSportsNation.com. He's one of our beat writers there. Also works for WV The Torch in our sales department. So you guys are doing a good job selling our football pregame show. Good job, Brendan, the old ball coach, Vince Mayako. Great to have you, coach. Now he's traveling around the country as he's retired after 2 decades at Taft College in Bakersfield, the only really Republican enclave of California remaining. And they're going to miss him when he's not there. But he's now traveling around the country doing travel ball. And it's good to have him as always. And now our new panelist and the budding star of the show, Frank Zaccanelli, former minority owner and general manager and president of the Dallas Mavericks back when they were actually good. So, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
Also the host of our new show, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday to Friday, our new show, Game on America. Game on America. I'm so excited about it. It just launched Monday, and it's 6 to 7 p.m. And Frank, that thing is absolutely on fire. We're going to get to that in a minute. This segment hosted by me. This segment brought to you by WV Sports Nation. Go to WVSportsNation.com for all your West Virginia athletics. It's right there. We got writers. We got 5 articles a day. We blow everybody away. If you're following West Virginia sports, you want to go to WVSportsNation.com. Don't forget to download their app. That's there. And don't forget our TV app coming out in about another, a week and a half, right? So you'll be able to just go to the App Store or Google Play, put in JFMN.TV, boom, click the app, and you'll be able to get us on TV 6 a.m. right to 7 p.m., Monday to Friday. And, of course, on Saturday, 7 a.m., right through whatever the John Gordon show is, a football game. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's great to have everybody here. We do make picks on our show. So let me just start with our gambling disclaimer. Bet responsibly, only what you can afford as entertainment. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call this number, 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER. And we'll go from there. Before I get into today's topics, and I've got a special I'm going to do on the Maryland baseball coach, Matt Swope, who I've become a tremendous fan of. Vince, you're really going to enjoy this. But before that, Frank, I just got to tell you, our show, I call it ours because we're in this thing together, but our show, 6 to 7 p.m. on our network, which is now we're rebranding it as Game on America. Frank, I love that show. Do you know that Ann and I cut our happy hour short last on a Friday? I mean, when you got Ann saying on Friday night happy hour, which is our thing, saying, hey, it's 5 to 6. Check us out. We got to go. I got to get the Frank show. I'm like, okay, I've been with her 30 some odd years. This has never happened. So
wow, that's a great
back and put on Game on America.
Well, that's a great lead-in, John. It's fun really doing the show, and it's a mix really of sports news and a lot of NFL now and college football. We're moving the horse racing show with Past the Wire to Saturday. It's on Saturday now, East Coast time, 11 to 11:30, with my partner John Stinton, and he's the best handicapper in the country. And so we're moving that show to 11 to 11:30 on the John Fredericks Media Network. John, I should call it the John and Ann Fredericks Media Network. I mean, this is ridiculous. I think a lot of people are upset that Ann she's dealt out on some of this stuff when we know that she's running everything from behind the curtain. So maybe the John and Ann Frederick Network. Chris will have something to say about that. But
fair observation.
Yeah, it's
the right 100% accurate.
It's the right call.
It's where John works for Ann.
There's no question. Everybody on the screen works for her. So here's the other side to this, though, is that Game On America is really gonna start to pick up a lot of momentum because we're gonna have great guests on. We had Mike the Greek on yesterday. CBS and Brent Musburger had Jimmy the Greek. We got Mike the Greek, and he's gonna get a lot better as we go. But I got to open up with one thing, okay? The best team money could buy has now lost 7 games in a row. $440 million before they signed Scoville to a longer-term deal. Before they signed him, $440 million. They're 0-7 the last 7. Coach, I mean, they're 0-7. I can't believe it.
As a Giants fan, it really breaks my heart seeing this.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's like the Mets, right? You got to have a culture. You got to have a locker room. I don't know what's going on in there, but 7 in a row. I should have been betting against them every
John,
day.
in the prediction markets, you know what you could have got for 7 in a row losses?
Oh, probably like 30,000 to 1.
Wow. I mean,
some kind of big dollars, but we never saw that coming. I'm going to segue here a minute. And there's not a lot of things. I'm 68 years old, and I've been around the block, and there's not a lot of things that move me, as Saxman knows. Saxman and I we have bus tours all over the place. It's really tough to get us like something we're like, wow. Okay.
You also have a low center of gravity. Let's be honest.
That's true, Chris. So anyway,
tough to move you.
I'm gonna indulge me here for 5 minutes because this really moved me in a good way. So my son Joe, that you all know, pitches for Maryland, left-handed pitcher. He's got 2 more years of eligibility. He's been out 2 seasons, been hurt, but now he's fine. He's back. He's 100%. So that looks good. Anyway, last year, the University of Maryland, Power 4, Big Ten team, baseball, had a pretty good roster, Vince, coming in on paper. Really, a lot of good players they got in, spent some NIL money, had a pretty good roster. They had a lousy year. They didn't make the Big Ten tournament. They finished next to last, only got out of the cellar because they beat Penn State 2-3 at home in the final weekend. They were worse. And the culture there was a catastrophe. I mean, I saw it in the stands. Parents' culture, everybody bitching, complaining constantly. If a player got, moved down from 5 to 7, he sat and sulked on the end of the bench. I saw kids with guys on second base, right-handed batters, try to pull an outside pitch with nobody out in a 1-run game. Could give a rat's ass about moving the runner over. I mean, I sat there through this. My son was there 1 week, and he said, Dad, I just got to tell you the culture in here is not good. It's just not a serious baseball culture. Playing for themselves. And so they had good players, but they lost, right? It was a disaster. Now, Swope could have blamed something. Matt Swope, the head coach, played for Maryland, big star there, dream job. Could have blamed everybody else and tucked tail. Here's what he did, okay? He took total accountability and responsibility. He knew his culture was a disaster. So out of a roster of 35 players, he jettisoned 28 out. He's got 7 returning players. This is Power 4 D1 baseball in the Big Ten. He's got 7 or 8 returning players. He either cut them, didn't matter what they did, or they went to some other team, got more money under their own volition. He didn't do anything to stop that. So he had to recruit 28 new players. Now, first of all, that took balls, right? Because you had a bad season, your job's on the line. And so what do? You know you got to change it. And so what he's trying to do is instill a new culture in the team. And he sent a letter out to parents, which I've never gotten. I've never gotten a letter from a head coach to a parent before the season started. And I'm just going to read you some some excerpts of this, right? It says, as I begin the new year, I want to do a better job of making sure you understand not only what we expect from your sons, but what this Maryland baseball team stands for. Our mission is clear: develop a character division leaders. What we're building, championship culture, but daily, long before opening day, this thing goes on. He outlines the standards. He said how we will develop and compete, our daily work, mental toughness. Then he says our partnership with parents. And I got to tell you guys, I wouldn't sit last year with the parents. I wouldn't sit with them. I sat on the other side. I sat on the visitor side. I couldn't take it. I couldn't stand it. Ask Ann. I wouldn't sit with the parents. They were that bad, except for a handful of them, right? He said, we ask you to reinforce the qualities that will help your son grow: honesty, ownership, resilience, patience. He goes on, and I'm gonna read you the final sentence. He says, at the end of this experience, we want wins, championships, and unforgettable moments. We also want every player to be able to say he became a better teammate, a stronger leader, and a man prepared for what comes next. Our measure of success is not only what they accomplish in a Maryland baseball uniform, but the habits, relationships, and character they carry for the rest of our lives. And here's the bottom line, okay? He can't compete with NIL money. They just don't have the money, or they can't compete with that. Basically, here's what he said. I don't know how many games we're going to win, but at the end of the day, your son is going to come out a better man at the end of this experience. And NIL money comes and goes, right? Money comes and goes, but character stays with you forever. So I tell you what, I don't get moved a lot, Chris, but this guy, to take the level of accountability that he did, taking a program with a fraction of the NIL money that these other teams have, and trying to put together something based on character and culture, having lived through last year, I just thought we need more Coach Matt Wopes. We need more Coach Vince Mayakos. Vince, I'm going to let
Well,
you comment and give it to the
yeah,
panel.
I would love to comment. That's a great lead in. I was actually, as you were reading that, I was actually thinking of along this lines, down the road 5, 10, 15 years ago, teammates aren't going to remember, so-and-so went 3 for 4 against Northwestern, on a Sunday in late April. You're going to be remembered by 2 things. Were you a coachable player, and were you a good teammate? And that's the bottom line. And if you're coachable and you're a great teammate, the rest kind of takes care of itself, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think so.
fair.
Right.
I was watching a
Chris?
video of John Smoltz talking about Bobby Cox and what a influence he was in his life, and also what a great coach and mentor he was on the field, and how he kept all those personalities playing well together. And it's very instructive from the athlete's perspective. At a high level athlete, John Smoltz, Hall of Famer, as you know. And, my father had a saying, or has a saying, assets are liabilities, liabilities are assets. And when you look at the lack of NIL money coming into certain programs, they have to dig deep to find out that that's a liability in the game. You got to turn it into an asset. And that can propel you to eventually get maybe NIL money with a successful program like West Virginia did and Sabins did for their baseball program, which wasn't even on the radar at the beginning of the season for a lot of people around the country. But that's the beauty of the game. And that's the beauty of sports. It's not, and the beauty of watching the LA Dodgers, tank 7 games in a row, or watching the Red Sox win 26 of 29 games. mean, that's the game. That's the reason we play the game, and then we have the sport. And it's not just a 1-game series. It's the season, right? Coach, I was on Facebook the other day, and my favorite pitcher growing up had a heart attack. And it's hard to accept that your comrades from high school are at that age. And I just wrote him a note on Facebook. I said, hey, to his wife, I said, hey, tell number 1, 2 needs him back in the game, because I was his catcher. And that's just a special way to communicate with the people you played with day in, day out, when in the heat all day long. And so it's those kind of coaches that make a mark on a man, not the wins and losses, like Coach said.
I couldn't agree more. My high school coach is legendary, basketball coach in Syracuse, New York. His name's Bobby Hayes, and Bobby's not doing so good. He's 90 years old now, and he's got some issues. He's got dementia and some other things. But I keep up with him every week through his sons and my teammates. We were the Procure League champs that year. We won everything. He was coach of the year. He's in the Syracuse Hall of Fame. And I'll tell you a funny thing is that there's 3 people in my life that I refuse to curse in front of. 3 people in my life I refuse to curse in front of: my mother, Roger Staubach, and Bobby Hayes.
Yeah. Wow.
That's it. I mean, and that's the kind of level that this guy was at. I mean, you'd see him when you were a kid, the baseball games, the Little League games. He was everywhere. And he's revered. And it will be one day when the Lord takes him, it will be the biggest Irish funeral in the history of Syracuse. So he just, these coaches, Brendan, have touched everybody's lives. They've touched so many lives. And, you start to see that when you have longevity in that.
Well,
coaching matters, man.
Getting this letter and seeing what we went through last year, and for a coach to at this level of a program, I mean, this isn't Towson, guys. This is Maryland baseball, okay? I mean, to take this level of accountability and say, I saw it, and look, he was responsible for that culture. He was a coach, but to say, look, I am going to change this. And I'm not going to change it by tweaking around the edges. I'm just going to rip it up from the roots and start the whole thing over and get 28 new players. And look, even for Joe, I mean, Joe's pitched like 3 innings in 2 seasons. He's been out 2 seasons. So he could have easily cut Joe. Like, look, I can't afford to, give you scholarship or whatever you're getting here. You haven't pitched in 2 seasons. He could have done that. No, he's like, I believe in you. And you're the kind of kid I want to build this culture. And so, but to be able to do this and to recognize what you've done and what you would evolve to, and then just rip it out. And you got all kinds of negative press in the Baltimore Sun and the various Maryland media, except me, because if you're a parent, you're seeing it. And so I just give Matt Swope a shout out for having the courage to be able to do this. And I wish him and his baseball program tremendous success.
And John, I'm going to make one point about the management side of that. Hopefully the AD is on board, because if the athletic director is not on board, it could be short-lived if he doesn't win. But if the athletic director has bought in, then you've really got lightning in a bottle. So I hope that's the case.
That's a great point. That's part of the entire wraparound team orientation. They have to buy into the program. Like, if you listen to Nick Saban talk about his early years in coaching, he wasn't nearly the coach that he became, right? And I'm sure all of us are not the man we used to be. And that's the part of growing into wisdom, right?
Go ahead.
No, and that's just the brilliance of life. And some people are cut down early in life and don't get to experience that growth, and that you cut off your branches. I got 2 of our kids here home for the weekend. I mean, that's just the beauty of the game of being a parent and seeing them grow into good, productive human beings. And John Wooden didn't win all the championships he won early out of the gate, but he was a great coach. He was building a great program. He had, with that comes better talent. That comes better support. But that's just the grind, man. That's how businesses are built. That's how this country was built.
And the wins leader in basketball is Mike Krzyzewski. I know this because I was involved with people that were involved there. I played summer basketball with some guys that played for Krzyzewski in those early years. They wanted to get rid of him so bad they couldn't
Mhm.
stand it.
Mhm.
Thank God they didn't.
Right.
So he's another unbelievable example.
Well, not being a Duke fan, I might have hoped he'd have gone to Washington State or something, but from the ACC. But he's a great coach. Dean Smith, great coach. Hearing the stories of the players talking about what a great coach Dean Smith was, and they're extraordinary.
You know,
But
and they said the same thing. They said the same thing about Bobby Knight, right?
yeah,
That
right.
that,
Different,
that
though.
actually played
Yeah.
for him, and
Different, though. A
yeah,
little different. A
yeah, a
little
little bit
different.
different. But the kids that were there for him. But I got to tell you, Coach Vince Mayako, this NIL thing is a mess. There's a lot of teams trying to figure it out, and you're going to have to look for a different way. And I think certainly Matt Swope is trying to do that. Others are trying to do it, but not everybody has got millions of dollars to pay these ball players. So you got to figure out a way to get them there and to get them excited about your program. And I think without building a tremendous culture, you really don't have any opportunity to be successful, Vince.
Yeah, I don't know what direction Maryland baseball is going as far as recruiting. Are they going strictly portal? Are they going JUCO transfers? Are they still recruiting high school kids? I think to
No
run
high
a
school.
successful program in 2026, you got to have all. You got to have all three
D3.
elements, I believe.
Yeah, I mean it's tough now because if you get a kid out of high school and they have a good season, they're gone. So you got to look for upperclassmen, basically coming out of JUCO or D2 or D3, maybe fifth year guy that you can get a season or two out of them because if they have a good season and they're offered, we had a shortstop that's going to get drafted. He was a freshman. We tried to keep him. Ty Conis, great young fella. Joe and I had dinner with him, great guy. But we didn't have the kind of money. I think I forget who he went to, but he got like 350,000. We offered him, 20, I mean, or 50 or something. I mean, you're just not going to compete. So it is what it is, but you got to find a different way. And hopefully we can do that. All right, guys, I want to move on. Thank you for your comments here. And again, big shout out to Maryland baseball coach Matt Swope. Matt, thank you for the letter. If you're tuned in, really moved me. Okay, the WNBA is done. I'm just gonna start with that. This league is done. A year, they're gonna fold. Al,
Really?
do you have the clip of Royce White? Al, do you have that? Let's get that up. Yeah, play that. Here's Royce White, former NBA player, says, according to the rules, this is the second one to do this now.
Oh, this
according
guy.
according to your rules of the WNBA, I'm going in the draft, and I expect to get drafted because I now meet the requirements that you laid out. Roll it.
Oh, earlier this week I made the announcement. I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I identify as sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes of basketball, professional basketball. So I'll be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2027 as well. I mean, I think I'd be unstoppable. But I'm a team first guy. I'm a pass first kind of player. I do the little things. I led my team in all 5 major stat categories at Iowa State University. So I do a little bit of everything. I'll do whatever the coach needs me to do. I'll do whatever the girls need me to do. I think the WNBA could come out and make a definitive statement about guys with a pair of balls playing in the women's association. But hey, that'd be probably too much like right. So, and I don't want to be discriminated against. No, I want fair treatment. I'm a young black, hopefully United States senator that would like a fair chance to participate as a sometimes identifying as a transgender woman athlete.
I mean, can I start on this? First of all, I've got our producer tracking him down. I got to get him on Game On America. I mean, this would be one of the all-time greats. And Enos Cantor, who everyone knows,
Oh, yeah.
he threw his hat in the ring. Here's the deal. This is actually a really good thing. This is actually a really, really good thing now, because here's a guy that sounds like, and he said, I'm a team man. He should say he's a team woman, because he kind of blew it a little bit during his speech. But the fact of the matter is, I think this is going to be very helpful, to bringing this to a crescendo. I mean, anybody who watched my show last week, all the shows, we've covered this from top to bottom. The whole Sophie Cunningham and everything that's going on surrounding that. This is all, again, guys, this is about no leadership in the WNBA. The commissioner needs to go today. She needs to be gone today. And, I gave a stat out. I don't know if it was on this show or the other one. 42% of the teams are owned by NBA owners. And with the expansion, 66% of the teams are going to be owned. And our good friend, Clay Travis, wants an expansion team that he's going to have a full roster of transgenders. So I mean, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. And I'm really sad because the NBA is near and dear to my heart. I think this is a reflection on the NBA, no matter who wants to say it's not. And this is becoming a joke, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think basically looking at Enes Kanter and Royce White, I don't think they really want to play in the WNBA. But what they're doing is they're forcing the WNBA to make specific rule changes, saying you have to be a biological female athlete to be eligible to play in the WNBA. And if they can get that, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
We are 24. Chris. We are 24 years removed from the movie Joanna Man. Do you remember the movie Joanna Man?
Yeah.
This is 24 years later. It was a spoof 20 years later. It's even more funny today that this guy, Royce White, former first-round pick out of, was he Iowa State?
Iowa State.
Yeah, it was Iowa State.
Yeah, and then, Enes Kanter, who's renamed himself Enes Freedom to challenge, the Islamic terrorists who are trying to kill him around the world.
Well, he was involved with the whole situation down in Hong Kong and all that.
That's right, with that
mistreatment and all that. So he was.
This is the power. Again, this is the power of sport in our culture. Very few people can call Bravo Sierra as well as Royce White has done, and that's the beauty of the thing. And I hope you get him on your show, Frank.
Yeah, Brendan, does your mic work? Come on, jump in here.
Yeah, it works. But I agree with everything you guys have said. It's an interesting strategy by Clay Travis and now Royce White to call out the hypocrisy of the WNBA and the transgender and men and women's sports. I mean, they, like Coach said, they're going to be forced to publicly come out and say what we have all known this entire time. You can't have biological males playing with women. I mean, because if Royce White we know he's not serious, but if he did force the issue and he tried to join the WNBA, does anybody think that they're really going to allow that? And how are they going to justify not allowing him in based off the rules that they have set for, how many years now? But yeah, the WNBA is in trouble. It's not really a good product on the court. None of the players are really that good other than, Caitlin Clark and, it's just not a good product. And they're burying themselves even more with this transgenderism and, supporting men and women's sports. It's going to continue to get worse.
John, let me ask you a question. Does it ever get to the level that Congress starts to take a look at this and says, you know what, we have to figure this out. This is bad for sports. It's bad for America. It's bad for everything. Does it ever get to that level?
It's never going to get out of the Senate. I mean, right now, President Trump has tried really hard, and so has Ted Cruz. He's got bipartisan support with Maria Cantwell in the state of Washington in order to get something to I guess, have some kind of governing body around the NCAA. The NCAA, it doesn't exist for all intents and purposes. There's no governing body. No matter what they do, somebody sues and some judge overturns it, which is what they did with the 5-year eligibility starting with 23. They said, well, somebody sued, said, well, what about me? I'm 22. And some judge said, yeah, you're right. So they overturned the entire NCAA rule book with a stroke of the pen. Mm-hmm. And now they're saying, well, now kids are coming back that have accepted professional contracts and got money, right, to play pro ball. NCAA rules are clear. once you sign a professional contract and that money comes in, you're no longer eligible to play in college athletics. Now they're suing for that and say, well, that's restraint of trade. I should be able to go back and get my master's and now get, $500,000 NIL money, even though I got money from, the Colts.
Right.
It's
Right.
insane. And they're going to win that too. This thing will never end, Chris. And Congress doesn't have the balls to step in because
Ironically.
they don't have the balls. And because Cruz told me the other day, he said, John, I just don't have I don't have the votes in the Senate. I don't have the votes.
Sounds
Well,
like every meaningful piece of legislation that they face.
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is this is probably an area where Congress and the Senate shouldn't do it, but they're going to be forced to do it. It's going to be too performative, pinata enjoyment politics out of this thing. They just want to whack it. I mean, why solve Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare? Why solve the national debt? Why do that when you can go take on transgenderism and athletics? I mean, go back to passing naming bills for post offices. That's what you really do. That place can't pass a kidney stone, let alone something of this magnitude. Let's just be honest. So, this is going to be up for the sport themselves to solve and get done with. There's going to be lawsuits. It'll be probably adjudicated in the courts more than anything. But this will snowball. Okay, this is going to snowball continuously, and it will spread to every sport in which there are professional athletes getting paid. So it could be women's tennis, it could be women's golf, it could be anywhere in the United States where this is happening. If you do NIL money, some guy's going to show up at LSU and go, "Hey, Kim Mulkey, let's do a deal here. What are we talking about?" Right? That's just the nature of this thing.
The WTA, though, has come out, the Women's Tennis Association has come out pretty strongly against this. And I think that, Martina Navratilova has been a great voice for that. Even Coco Gauff came out and said, look, I'm not against trans people, but I don't think they should be playing in the women's, tennis. Let me give you a scenario, and you guys can bounce this around. I think this happens, and I think this is going to be a major factor. I think a group of heterosexual players inside the WNBA, and there's a big group of them, I think they band together and do file a lawsuit and say, we're not playing against guys. We're not in the locker room with guys. We're not doing any of this stuff. And I think that is the fuse that needs to be lit, John, that ultimately may then start to make this a legal process.
Well,
that's why tennis has cordoned this thing off early. Martina Navratilova is outwardly gay, lesbian. Serena Williams, they both agree. If they had to play, I think Serena was saying if she had to play Andy Roddick, it would be 15 minutes. It would be 6-0, 6-0. Because there's just a different game. This is the best woman who ever played the game saying, there's no way I could ever compete with these people. And these men, and they have cordoned that off, and good for them that they did that. And you just can't do it. I mean, Bob Costa's probably the most articulate voice on this one. There's a reason why we have different weight classes for boxing and wrestling. They're just different. They're just different people playing the same game.
All right, guys. I got to go to a break. When we get back, got to get our sponsors in because they love Godzilla Wins just as much as you all do. And when we get back, we're going to wrap this up, and then we're going to go to it's football season already. We had a Hall of Fame game, and somebody scored like 30 points. Holy crap!
33.
33. And have the Cardinals scored that many points in the last 3 decades?
10 years.
Well, wait a minute. When the regular season starts,
you got to go back to Jim Hart.
Season starts, that could be their total for the first half of the season.
You got to go back to Air Coryell and Jim Hart to find and Metcalf to find the last time the Cardinals scored 30 points.
Conrad Dobler.
We'll be right back with Air Coryell.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work, Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Order online fast and save $45. Your kit with prescriptions to treat common and life-saving illnesses is rushed to your door. Visit twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust to your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pierce 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Pennsylvania's big casinos want it all. Your money, your games, your choice. They rake in millions, then lobby Harrisburg to shut down the small businesses that dare to compete. Bars, VFWs, local spots, crushed so the casino giants can get even richer. They want to rig the system against you, but Pesomatic is fighting back. Skill games, fair play, real competition. No monopolies, no backroom deals. Just your right to play and win. Call Harrisburg now. Stand with small business. Stand with Pesomatic. Pesomatic, leveling the playing field. Paid for by Pesomatic.
John Frederick.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild,
they want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Frederick Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred radio network, and all across the social.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Godzilla Wins, where you get the best insight and best information on how to win the most money ever.
Guess what? GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
Back to the show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Godzilla Wins. I'm John Frederick, your host, filling in for Mitch Rogers, who'll be back next week. Got to go to our panel, Brian Statler, WVSN, longtime sports writer, also part of the sales team in Pasqua's world. At WV The Torch, Frank Zaccanelli, now a panelist with us, also the host of his own show, Monday to Friday, baby, 6 to 7 p.m. across the John Fredericks Media Network, and it's called Game on America. And the thing about Frank is, well, he was a minority owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He was also their president, GM, so he knows a little bit about this. The indelible Chris Saxman, been with me for 15 years. Chris, good to see you. My best to your lovely bride, Michelle. And the old ball coach, Vince Mayaka, with us traveling around the country now, doing travel ball, doing what he loves best. So the gang's all here. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap the WNBA very quickly, be succinct, no long narrative. Are they going to exist after 2027? Yes or no? Statler?
No, absolutely not.
Frank?
Yes.
Saxman?
Of course.
Vince?
Yes, but with different standards than we're dealing with right now.
They're gone. League will fold at the end of the 27 season. They just can't go on this way.
Then you know what? We need to go to the prediction markets. They'll have a line on this.
I know. They're so done. I mean, this thing is so unsustainable. It is such a joke.
Nobody watches it. Nobody.
But the only thing that's going to save them is what I gave you the statistic. 42% of the teams are owned by the NBA owners. and with expansion, it's going to be 66. They're going to come in and clean house. They're going to put rules in. This is my prediction, and they're going to get a real commissioner. I think that if Chris Saxon didn't have anything else to do, he should be the new commissioner. If you want me to call up the NBA, which I got good thing. If you want that job, Chris, let me know.
He's going to make the WNBA great again. Well, I guess it was never great.
It's going to be a great league. A lot of good people playing in this league. You know, we've got the
It's
best
tremendous.
people, the best
It's
talent.
tremendous.
It's tremendous. Like you've never seen before, Frank.
People have never seen this before.
We got LeBron and
I appreciate
James.
your enthusiasm, but there's no way I can't name 3 teams, Frank.
He needs a shaver goatee, but LeBron James is great.
Yes.
If we only had Dan Hopgood on now, he could be doing the Trump impression. But
he's great.
Al Green, my producer for Godzilla Wins, I've been here from the beginning. Another guy been with me 15 years. Says I watch it. Well, Al, you know,
you got to get out. You need a hobby. You need a hobby, Al. Take up gardening. Something.
Al needs a hobby.
I'm not going to beat up Al. He controls the mics around here.
Yeah, he'll cut you off.
Oh yeah, we've all been through that, haven't we?
No.
Al will cut you off in a heartbeat. He does control. He who controls the mute button controls the show.
You're talking about the man behind the curtain. Hello.
All right, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Vince, the coach, was at Wayne Newton's house last weekend. Where are you today? You look like you're in a rundown for the police department with the white background. What are you doing?
He's in a holding cell.
Yeah,
currently.
What are you doing? Did you get arrested during the week? If you did,
turn to the
I'll
left.
for you. Don't worry
Frank,
about it.
you're all over it, man. I'm just waiting to hear back from my attorney right now. So right now
That's
I'm
the one.
taking the 5th.
That's the one.
Where
That's
are you?
definitely the guy. Turn to the left.
No, I'm serious. From where I'm looking,
This is
you
his
look
one
like you're in a
phone call.
rundown. It's unbelievable. The only thing they don't have is the height, where they got that scale on the height thing. But they should have that. So where are you actually?
I'm actually in just outside of Chicago. We have a
Chicago.
doubleheader today. We have a doubleheader today at 11 o'clock Central Time at Concordia University. And then later today, we're going to go downtown Chicago. Tomorrow, we're going to a White Sox game. And then we continue to head east. We'll be in Buffalo and Niagara later this week.
Wow.
And then finish up next weekend in Newark, New Jersey, playing some baseball. And we're going to stop along the way in Cooperstown, New York for the Hall of Fame. So,
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one.
Coach, how is it on the road with I presume these are college kids, post-college kids?
no, they're young kids. They're 14 to 17-year-olds.
Oh, so what's the playing intensity like for these kids when they take the field? Are they just messing about, or they lock in and play hard?
We're, as being a college coach, dealing with 14, 15, and 16-year-olds, typically kids that are, freshmen or sophomores in high school. It's a little more of a challenge, I'll tell you that, to say the least. But as you can see by my shirt, we were in Dyersville, Iowa the other day, and we actually played 4 games on the Field of Dreams. So
Really?
pretty cool stuff.
Wow, I just got chills. That's such a great movie. God help me.
Great
Such a
movie.
great
One of the best ever.
Oh,
And then next Thursday is going to be the Field of Dreams Major League game. It's going to be the Twins in Philly. So seeing that whole stadium constructed and stuff, and it's going to be on Netflix for whatever that's worth. But they were out filming the other day, so look for us probably in the pregame show on Netflix.
how's the
All
field?
right.
How's the field? Is the outfield spongy?
The movie site, the one that we played on, I had to leave something to business. I'm pretty anal when it comes to the having straight lines and edges on your baseball field, but it's just it's surreal because you're there. There's the house. There's the corn in the.
Did you walk
over
through the
outfield
cornfield
fence,
and disappear?
yeah.
Did you do that? Were you able to do that?
No, they actually had that area fenced off because I think probably over time, knuckleheads being knuckleheads go in there and probably take corn down as souvenirs. So they just decided, you know what, we're going to fence that part off and keep the vandals out of the cornfield.
All right, guys, let's get to football. Hall of Fame game. Arizona scoring 30 points. Actually, Carson Beck from Miami didn't go to college for 2 seasons. He said never went to a classroom, but he looked pretty sharp. And I know a lot of people all over the Cardinals. They're betting the under. I think it's what 5.5 is.
It's 4.5.
Four and a half. I bet the under. I don't see how this team wins 5 games, but Carson Beck looked good because he's playing against a different level. But football's back. When you get the Hall of Fame game, football's back, and now everybody's getting locked in. Preseason is starting. Got 4 preseason games, and then mid-September, boom, we go. What do you guys see? Biggest surprise of football? Start with Statler.
Biggest surprise in football. I mean, I think it's kind of early to make predictions, but that game in particular, you look at it on paper, I was thinking this was going to be the most boring preseason game ever. That may have been the greatest preseason game, definitely the best Hall of Fame game I've ever seen. These are 2 teams that most likely will not be in the playoffs this year if I had to bet, but I mean, what a great game, back and forth, and to the Carolina quarterback, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
No, the guy that got the game-winning touchdown in the Hall.
Hayes King.
Yep, there you go. To rush in for a touchdown as the clock hits 0. I mean, what more can he ask for in a meaningless football game? In a way, it was entertaining.
Well, listen, we got a couple things here we want to comment on as we get into preseason, which starts, I think, next week, because we got 4 weeks. Season starts, what is it? September.
I think 10th, 13th for sure. So
Yeah.
I think the 10th. Yeah.
It starts on the 10th, and then of course the first slate of Sunday games. Ann and I going to the opener for the Titans and Jets in Nash Vegas, so we're looking forward to that. But we've got, one of the big things is Bijan Robinson signed finally with Atlanta. I think that makes Atlanta now very, very viable to win that weak division. Jonathan Taylor, he signed $44 million, so got him back. Still got to hold out with the Lions. Jamar Gibbs is still holding out.
They're signed.
No, Gibbs signed.
Oh, he signed. Okay, so that was last.
Now he's the highest paid running back in NFL history, I believe.
Yeah, he signed for just a tad more than Robinson, so he's signed now.
So what about all this talk about you can't pay running backs, but then you pay running backs?
Well,
what
these guys
Not
are a
long
little
term.
This is a little bit of an anomaly for this reason. They're both, I think, in their 3rd year, something like that. They're very young. Mm-hmm. They are so integral to the success of their team, because you remove these 2 guys from those 2 teams, you can forget it. And so I think this was a bit of an anomaly. I was the guy that brought up on the last show that, GMs are really running when it comes down to drafting running backs high or paying them. This was a little bit different. And, the funny thing about it was who was going to sign first, who was going to set the market. They both got paid a lot of money. I'm happy for them. Now the big thing is they got to stay healthy. But, if they can stay healthy, they're going to both make a major impact for their team this year.
Yeah, that's the one thing I really focus on the preseason games, unfortunately, is who gets season-ending injuries, because I think the value prop for a lot of these preseason games is just de minimis for they know their rosters. Very few people are going to crack the roster. It's probably more than anything getting their practice squads ready to just have the pipeline due to injuries at the longer season, 17 games and whatnot. But, there's a lack of value in these preseason games.
Yeah.
They don't do it in college for a reason.
And I was told by somebody who does this, it's really down to, in the preseason, there are 5 jobs that are up. So the roster is predominantly set. But for 5 of those young players, they are playing for a contract. Mm-hmm. And so, why do they have to put us through this, when you watch these meaningless preseason games? But I'll be honest with you, the game really on Thursday I thought was going to be terrible. It wasn't completely terrible. It was a bunch of guys no one heard of except for Carson Beck. He goes 15 for 19, 200 yards, a touchdown. He may make some noise. He's in a situation where, anybody could quarterback that team. So you got to wait and see. But it was at least there was action in the game, because a lot of these preseason games, as you guys know, are 14-7, 14-3, because nobody really cares about it. Those 5 people vying for those jobs are the only, and their families and their girlfriends are the only people that are really rooting for this thing. Everybody's waiting, get through this, get the teams, and let's get it on. So,
and it's great stuff, Frank. The one that you talk about preseason and cuts and not making teams. The one guy who always comes back to me as a Steeler fan is James Harrison. The guy's cut like 4 or 5 times, bounces back between the Ravens and the Steelers, and undrafted, might be a Hall of Famer, probably a Hall of Famer. But I think there's value for the players who are not likely to be made to be able to showcase their talents and where they might fit into certain schemes and where they might be able to get a job in the future. There's value for them, but the value for the starters who are likely to play, who are already guaranteed money, there's just a lack of it. So it's odd to watch because you're going, I don't even know these numbers, let alone these names, and who is this person? And they might be playing against you by the middle of the season and winning, but it's weird. It's just like this weird market of talent and labor.
Yeah. John, the biggest question mark going into the NFL season has to be, is Patrick Mahomes healthy enough now to be Patrick Mahomes?
Well, we found out, according to you guys, last night, which I watched that, Ann and I, as I said,
thank God for Ann, right? Thank God for
Ann. You rushed home, and somebody made the assessment on a game on America that I agreed with. We're going to know in the first 2 series of the first game, and so that's really the mystery. That's why I'm not going to bet him one way or the other. You just got to wait. Hey, guys, before we get off, the Stephon Diggs signs with Washington. Washington had a down year last year, really down year. Lots of injuries. They got old. The whole defense got old on the same week. Are they back? Can they? I mean, they got a great quarterback. It's going to be his junior season. Can they come back? Somebody jump in, Saxman.
Are we done with Mahomes or what?
Yeah, we're done with him because either
we're done. We're done with the best player in the league. We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
There's no betting. There's no betting going forward. We know exactly where he is. I don't see him in a lot of commercials anymore, if that's anything to anybody. Yeah, I think the Commanders have an opportunity. They're the biggest question mark in the NFC East. I think they're the biggest question mark because they were so high 2 years ago and so low last year. Maybe that's the maturing of the quarterback, Jalen Daniels. Bringing in Stephon Diggs. Don't know if that's a sign of good things for Washington or bad things for Washington. But I think they have a good young nucleus and they had a good draft.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. He's a problem in the locker room. He drives people crazy. All you got to do is take a look. He's a journeyman now. Mm-hmm. Starts out in Minnesota. He's been all over the place. Was in New England. They don't want him. So the fact of the matter is that he's a problem in the locker room, but a very talented guy.
Yeah.
Frank, one of my family members said yesterday on the Mahomes situation that you guys delved into, a person said to me, I'm not going to say their name, family member, said, isn't it interesting that when everybody started really getting on the referees for giving every call to Mahomes, when they really made that an issue, like a national issue.
Mm-hmm.
And really last season was the first season that became an issue. Isn't it ironic that was his worst year? Do you read anything into that?
No. I'll tell you a stat that really is very meaningful. Here's a kid that's played 9 years, comes out of Texas Tech. Father was a professional baseball player. Mm-hmm. He comes out, and I think he's drafted in the middle of the first round. So a lot of teams passed on him. So he gets drafted. He comes into the league. He's completed 9 seasons and played in 5 Super Bowls. Okay, he's won 3 of them. That's Joe Montana-esque. I don't want to put anybody, in Tom Brady's category yet. Now, Mike the Greek, who's on my show every Friday, points out to me every time, because I love Mahomes, he points out that 2 of the 3 wins he should have lost. He said, who the hell blew the game? San Francisco blew the game on a muff punt 2 or 3 years ago, and they blew the Super Bowl. But the fact of the matter is, statistics are statistics. 9 seasons, 5 Super Bowls, 3 wins. That's pretty hard to go against. So, That's where I'm at. I think Mahomes is by far, if he's healthy, the best quarterback in the league. I'd rather have him if all my money was on the table and I had one drive. Who's going to complete it? In my opinion, it would be him. What about you, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes is definitely at a whole nother level. But once again, coming off of a knee surgery, some people bounce back okay after that. I think this we'll see what develops there. I know we don't, it's a Hall of Fame weekend and everything, but I think we need to spend just a moment of time talking about the 5 or 6 individuals that are entering the Canton Hall of Fame: Drew Brees, Roger Craig, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. So not too often you get a kicker into the Hall of Fame, but
he's
big
only
weekend
the
in
third.
Canton.
He's only the third, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Now, is that field goal kicker and punter together, or
Bill
is that a
Belichick
double
is not in the Hall
category
of
or
Fame.
one category?
I'm not sure.
Because Ray Guy's in, right, as a punter.
Yes.
And Roy Girella.
Roy Girella.
Girella's
Hooks
Gorilla.
Girella. Hey, how about Hooks Girella? That was his nickname. Hooks Girella.
Girella's Gorillas. Now the thing with Mahomes is, you can only go out of the pocket so often in the NFL and expect to continue a long career. The brilliance of Tom Brady was not getting hit, being mobile enough and smart enough to just throw the ball away and play the next down, and we'll just play ball control defense on the other side. And it's a team game. Let's be honest. But when you pay certain players on your salary cap league, you've only got but so much room to spread that around on the offensive line, the defensive line, and the cracks are going to show, holes are going to develop, and you're going to get hit more often. There are 2 qualities in an NFL quarterback. Obviously, one is accuracy, decision making, is the penultimate one. But then it's mobility. You have to be able to move, and if Patrick Mahomes can't move as well as he did before, that's going to give the defensive coordinators in the NFL a leg up on Patrick Mahomes.
I agree.
All right, guys, I got to read a text here I got from the famous Rocky Simmons in West Virginia, one of our sponsors on WVS, on WVSportsNation.com, and on our pregame show that's going to be starting in a couple weeks. Rocky says, your shirt this morning, John, is cracking me up. I don't know why. I think it's a beautiful shirt, Rocky. Fear the turtle, right? Don't laugh. And then he goes on to say, I'm going to be the first 60-year-old transgender WNBA player. I'm entering step 2. I'm making my announcement in a press conference on Monday. What do you think, Stowler?
Hey, I love it. Let's go, Rocky.
Let's get Rocky in the
This is going to get out of control.
Take the league by storm, John. Going to be the best player, hands down. The game will be over by halftime.
He's pretty big. He's a pretty big guy. I mean, I think he'd do good.
This is going to be like the tryouts for League of Their Own, right? Rosie O'Donnell and Madonna. I mean, it's going to get odd, man. It's going to get odd.
Let me make a point about the WNBA players in today's game versus, say, 25 years ago. All right. As most of you know, I worked for Roger Staubach for 5 years, and he really became a very important guy in my life, a mentor. He was a good basketball player, really good basketball player. We played a lot of basketball. That's how I got my job, and I was a very good player, back in those days. So he calls me up one day, and he says, "Frank, I need for you to come down to the house. Bring your gear. We got a game. I don't even know who's going to be there." And so I said, okay. And he would do this periodically. George W. Bush and his brothers, we played them during the 84 convention. Vice President Bush came. They had to shut down all the freeways for him to come watch us beat the hell out of his sons. But the long and short of it is it was a lot of fun. So I get there, and who do I see? I see 2 people. I see Nancy Lieberman, who's in the Hall of Fame, and I see Martina Navratilova. They might have been dating at that time. I have no idea. I didn't ask any questions. So now I'm 6'1.5". At this point in my life, I'm about 190 pounds. I'm in great shape. And, it's going to be what it's going to be. Nancy Lieberman's 5'8". So we start playing. And after the first break in the game, the Captain America comes over to me. He grabs me by the shirt and he says, "Ease up on her, will you? This is making us look bad." I mean, they were not athletic. they had skill, but they were not athletic at all. Martina was actually a pretty good athlete and pretty good, but she's 5'7". You know, I mean, that makes a big difference. When you take a look at some of these women now, you know, whether forget the cultural part for a moment, they're much better players now. They're much more athletic now. The game is better now. Like Caitlin Clark, she'd be trouble for a Division III guy, you know, to be able to play. It would be a reasonable matchup. But in those days, you know, they just didn't have the physicality. But that's a true story. He came up, he says, "Come on, you're making us look bad." He started pulling on my shirt. I said, "Okay, Raj."
All right, guys, we got to get to the top of the hour. Break.
Can I unstop back before
go ahead.
we leave him? Imagine the career he would have had if he didn't have to go in the Navy for 5 years.
Well, imagine the career he would have had if he didn't have 12 concussions. You got to remember, he quit because of concussions.
Oh yeah, played on those tundras, on those AstroTurf. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in NFL history.
Well, I think he's in everybody's top 10. If he's not, then you know, basically you need to go see your psychiatrist.
No, he's top 3 or 4 for me. I mean,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
We got to get top of the hour break. Our panel will be right back. Vince, I think you had to take off. Are you going to stay with
I'm going
us?
to stick around for another 30. I'll stick around for another
Vince
30
is going
minutes.
to stick around. John Fredericks, Brendan Statler, Frank Zaganelli, Chris Saxman, Vince Mayako. We'll be right back.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pier 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
You hear a lot about weight loss injections because the results are dramatic, but injections aren't for everyone. So doctors created a new generation weight loss supplement. This is non-prescription lean, and the science behind it is impressive. The studied ingredients in lean are intended to address weight loss in 3 powerful ways: help maintain healthy blood sugar, help control appetite, and help convert fat into energy so you burn it faster.
Get 20% off with discount code Godzilla at TakeLean.com. Code Godzilla at TakeLean.com.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
John Frederick.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing is ridiculous.
When politics start getting wild.
They want to have every single thing that you don't want. Raise taxes, men and women's sports. They're going to open up their border.
Trump hits the speed dial.
Thank you for calling in on such short notice.
You came first, John.
Wake up with the John Frederick Show weekday morning, 6 Eastern, 5 Central on JFMN.TV, the massive J-Fred radio network, and all across the socials.
You came first, John. Thank you very much, and you do a great job.
Right now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineers sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now, get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now. Godzilla Wins, where you get the best insight and best information on how to win the most money ever.
Guess what? GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
Back to the show.
Great to have you with us back on Godzilla Wins. I'm your hosting here for Mitch Rogers, John Fredericks, Frank Zaccanelli with us. Can't wait. Frank Show, Monday to Friday. Game on America, 6 to 7 p.m. across the John Fredericks Media Network. Miss a day, miss a lot. Don't want to miss that. Chris Saxman with us. Well, the indelible one. He's always there no matter what we're doing. Saxman's always around. Thank you, Chris, for being with us. My best love to your lovely wife, Michelle. Great to have her. We're going to invite you down to Colonial Downs next weekend when we think our racehorse there in Colonial Downs is going to have his debut. So once we get the card set, we'll give you guys an invite. Hope to see you then. Also, the old ball coach, Vince Mayako, with us. And I guess we'll get Frank here back on in a minute. Meantime, guys, let's just roll right ahead. Thanks, guys, for joining us today, as always. Let's go with, we're going to go with a little pro football and then get to college when we get Frank back here in a minute. But there's a couple over-unders for the season that I really want you guys to focus on because I think there are a couple best bets. One is Atlanta. One is Atlanta. Atlanta, I think their odds to make the playoffs are plus 240. Now they're in a terrible division. You got Tampa, you got the Saints. Who else is in there, right? Carolina. I think Atlanta wins that division plus 240 to get in the playoffs. If you're looking for a futures bet, that's my best bet. Brendan, somebody.
Right now, it's hard for me to pick them over Tampa Bay, mainly because they still have Baker Mayfield, and we've all heard the stories of how Baker is upset he has not gotten another deal with Tampa. So I think he's going to play out of his mind this year. So right now, I'm giving that division to Tampa Bay, but I think Atlanta finishes second. I think they're going to have a much better season than people are anticipating, mainly because of Bijan Robinson. They're going to rely on him heavily. I'm still not convinced that Michael Penix is the guy going forward, but the rest of that division's terrible. I think they win enough games just running the ball down their opponents' throats with Bijan. So I think they finished second, but I think I'm going to go with Tampa to win the division.
Okay, Atlanta plus 240 to get in the playoffs. Good bet. That's that's one of the futures bets I made. Saxman, good bet, bad bet.
Oh, I don't care. If there's a division or in either conference that ends in South, I don't pay attention to them.
Okay, I mean, fine.
I mean, they're just
top
to bottom. Someone's going to be 10-7. The end of the division is going to be 7-10. I don't place a bet on that. I mean, $5. Who cares? I mean, it's a nominal bet. Interesting conversation. Not even interesting conversation. They're not going to go deep in the playoffs. They're just not there. They're not part of the conversation.
I think
there should be a relegated status, and all four teams in those divisions would be relegated.
I think you guys are way off on this. I mean, I'm not an Atlanta fan, so I have no thing here.
John, I've got your back.
Hang on, Alf. Alf, Frank says he's trying to get back in the show. Can you let Frank back in? Do you have him on screen? Al?
There he is.
There he is. Okay. Or maybe his screen went dark.
He's got to turn his camera on. Maybe.
Frank, you got to turn on your camera. Yeah. You got to.
Anyway, what's the point on preseason betting on whether Atlanta makes the playoffs or not? Is that what the bet is?
Yeah, I mean, I took 240. I think they got Bijan Robinson.
John, I like your bet because granted, Kirk Cousins isn't in Atlanta anymore, but probably towards the end of the season, for what it's worth, it is the NFC South. I think Atlanta was the best team at the end of the season in the NFC South.
Yeah, look. I mean, all joking aside, not that I was joking. I think Carolina's the up and coming team in that division.
Listen, okay, let's get to another futures bet. So I got two of them here. One of is the Atlanta plus 240 to get in the playoffs. I like that. My other best bet is Arizona 4.5 games season total. I'm all over the under. You look at their schedule, they got 6 losses right off the bat. 2 against Seattle, right? Done. 2 against San Francisco, done. 2 against the Rams, done. So you got 6 losses right there. Now you got a 17-game season. That means they got to win 5 out of the remaining 11 games. I think this team is brutal. I'm going with the under. Let's go around the horn. Start with Coach Vince.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, on paper, of course, they go 0-6 in their own division. So that doesn't leave much room for error. The one thing that probably does save them to possibly get more than 4 would be they were a last place finisher in the NFC West last year. So their schedule is going to be downgraded compared to teams that maybe finished higher in division. But yeah, I mean, when you look at a team that potentially goes 0-6 in their own division, it's hard to think that they're going to have a good season, right? I
don't know. Anyone on this at all, or
I just looked at the schedule. Dear God, their best hope is a game against the Jets, and that's about it.
Is that in New York or Arizona?
I think it's in Arizona.
I'm picking them to win 1, maybe 2 games this year. I agree with you, John. Take the under.
Here's the schedule, how it opens up. Chargers, Seahawks, Niners, Giants, Lions, Rams, Broncos, Cowboys, Seattle, LA Rams, Chiefs, Commanders, Eagles, Jets, Saints, Raiders, Niners.
Win. 2 wins.
I think you could bet on 2. I think 2.5 would be an even better bet.
After hearing that, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose every game. Good Lord.
I mean, if they got a brutal schedule, but here's where
it's not just winning; it's also surviving physically.
I mean, here's where you could make some money because you bet. I mean, look, you got to wait to the end of the season to connect. But to Frank's point, we're trying to get him back. He's got to reconnect here. But one of the things that about the futures bet, like if you go on Cashy, which I don't do, everybody knows that. But if you go on Cashy or Polymarket and you take this bet, and they open the season 0-9. You're able to sell that at a pretty good profit right there. But if you go on, DraftKings or MGM or Caesars like I do, then boom, you can't do that. You got to wait till the end of the season. So the only thing I don't like about this is I got to tie my money up for 5 months. So I don't like doing that. But I think that this is pretty much, to me, of all the football bets out there, under Cardinals 4.5, I think. Because it's an even money bet. You basically lay the vig. I think it's the best bet out there.
So John, my question is, that's the most underachieving team. Who do you see as being potentially most overachieving team this year?
Steelers.
Really?
Here we go.
Well, you didn't even flinch on that one.
No, Steelers. I look, everybody underrates their defense. Here was a problem, and I'm not a Steelers fan. I just observer. Last season, where did their defense collapse? In the fourth quarter. Why? Because the offense couldn't stay on the field. Okay. Right. Now we got an offensive mind. They got an offensive mind of McCarthy. I think they're going to run the football. I think they're going to get a lot of short passes. I think you get a lot of move the sticks. I think McCarthy understands this. Look, Rodgers is 50 years old. I understand. I get it. But the bottom line is, when that defense can get a little bit of a breather, I think it's going to make a difference. They blew a lot of games in the fourth quarter last season. I don't think that's going to happen this season. So, and I think Rodgers has said he's got one more year. I mean, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you got one more year. This is it. You want to get deep in the playoffs. I think that is going to be the overachiever in the NFL.
I think it's a great observation, especially on the ball control aspect and McCarthy coming in. It's a better season for us. And one of the things that I've noticed also about the preseason, speaking of preseason and the utility of it, McCarthy, they're not hitting. They're not hitting and tackling like Tomlin would, because at the end of the season, you're just gassed. You just can't take that much raw punishment on the human body. And so I think you're going to have a very, very offensive-minded game.
Yeah, and I think getting back to what you talked about, Arizona going 0-6 in the NFC West, you look at the AFC North. Is the AFC North weaker this year than it was last year? I think it is. Obviously, with Harbaugh not in Baltimore, is Baltimore going to be a shell of itself? Cleveland, Myles Garrett, they don't intimidate you defensively like maybe they did last year. I think the big question mark in that division is the Bengals.
Oh, God, yes.
How will the Bengals be a legitimate playoff contender this year? And obviously, their quarterback dictates a lot of that.
I think he dictates all of it, really. I mean, because the biggest problem they had last year was they could score points, but they had no defense whatsoever. They've made some upgrades to their defense this offseason, but if Joe Burrow's not healthy, which he has a record of not being healthy when he's needed, if Joe Burrow's not healthy, they got no chance.
Yeah.
Right. And let's remember, that's the same Joe Burrow last year that almost sounded like he was.
And says Cardinals just went down to 3.5 on DraftKings. So they opened 4.5. They've gone down. They've just gone down to 3.5.
We're moving the market.
All right, guys.
Probably the book.
Probably because I read off the schedule.
Let's go to a quick break. I got to figure out how to get Frank back in. Quick break, Al, and we'll figure it out.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
You hear a lot about weight loss injections because the results are dramatic, but injections aren't for everyone. So doctors created a new generation weight loss supplement. This is non-prescription lean, and the science behind it is impressive. The studied ingredients in lean are intended to address weight loss in 3 powerful ways: help maintain healthy blood sugar, help control appetite, and help convert fat into energy so you burn it faster.
Get 20% off with discount code Godzilla at takelean.com. Code Godzilla at takelean.com.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Godzilla Wins, where you get the best insight and best information on how to win the most money ever.
Guess what? GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
You heard the man. The all-new GodzillaWins.com is all about winners, with fresh daily picks by J-Fred and your favorite players from the Godzilla Wins team. Get your hot takes from the show, then click the website for the dough. GodzillaWins.com.
GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
Let's get back to the show that's all about winning dough. Godzilla Wins. Let's talk more winners.
I love that mantra, guys. I actually came up with it. Okay, we're back on Godzilla Wins, and want to thank our panelists for being with us. We're going to get very quickly here to MLB trades, winners and losers. Let's start with the old ball coach, Vince Mayako. Vince, break it down for us.
Perfect. I love it. Well, obviously, the two big trades was Tarek Skubal to the Dodgers and Adley Rutschman to the Red Sox. But I really think three trades that flew under the radar that are going to dramatically improve both teams. Number one, Kevin Gossman from Toronto to the Cubs. I think that makes, maybe the Cubs don't catch the Brewers, but now the Cubs have a really good additional starting pitcher in that best 2 out of 3 series to open up October baseball. Another one, Padres getting Robbie Ray, left-handed pitcher from the Giants. I think that puts the Padres in a position where they can vie for that last wild card spot. And then another Giant, Luis Ariz from the Giants to the Phillies to give the Phillies a good second baseman. Obviously, Ariz, many people don't know this, he's a 3-time National League batting champion. Yeah. So 3 trades that went under the radar that are dramatically going to improve all 3 teams.
Chris?
It's a great lineup, Coach. Spot on analysis. You know what I'm looking for right now, frankly, is the momentum lost or the momentum gained since the All-Star break and the trade deadline. These are the dog days of summer, and it's catching up. Look at what the Red Sox have done. Look what the Dodgers have recently done, and the dynamics in baseball have changed dramatically in the last month. And it's exciting. We're getting down to fall ball. And playoff baseball, which is basically what everyone's in right now. Obviously, my team Pirates have fallen off. They're 4 games under 500, whereas they were hot going into the All-Star break. But that's just the nature of the game. Best records in baseball since the break: Red Sox, Braves, Astros, Cubs, Reds, Brewers.
Hey, here's something to think about, guys. In the AL, is it possible one of the wild card teams could actually be under 500 and make the playoffs?
No.
It's borderline right now.
It's not going to happen. I mean, a couple teams are going to get hot. I just don't see it. I mean, you look at right now, so many teams are in it. Orioles are game back. I mean, the Twins and Guardians are, I think, a game back out of first or something behind the White Sox. Somehow the Astros, my team, which we were written off for so much roadkill this season, 11 games under 500. Now we got a game and a half lead. We went from the worst bullpen in the majors to the best in the past month. How you do that, I have no idea. They still got issues, okay? And, of course, they did nothing at the trade deadline. They traded Arrighetti, who's been up and down, for Gary Varsho's son, Dalton Varsho. Nice young fella. Can't get a hit. I haven't seen him yet get a hit with a guy on base. So, whatever. We did nothing. But, look, here's the thing about the Astros. Abreu's back. He's back. His fastball last night was 99. That was a problem early in the season. Abreu's back. He comes back. Hader's having the best season of his career. They can't hit him. It's a 7th-inning game. I mean, we got the lead going to the 8th inning. Win, just like they did last night. 5-3 game, going to the bottom of the 8th, 6 outs, game over. That's what's going to make them tough. It gives them a shot to win a short series. Beyond that, they just don't have the depth or the starters or anything else. So are we going anywhere? No, but it's going to be a fun season, and I think maybe they had a shot to win the first round, but anything can happen.
Look, only 6 games, 6 teams are legitimately out of this thing right now, and we're in August. So it's great baseball. It's getting more competitive. It's great to see the Dodgers lose. That's just delicious. And I've never been a Dodgers hater. I've always admired and respected the franchise since the Jackie Robinson, Branch Rickey days. Not that I was around them, but I've always just respected them as an organization. Not anymore. They've become the evil empire of the West, and I don't.
Yeah, and the weird thing with their downfall right now, they're not even a top 2 seed in the NL. They would have to play a best 2 out of 3 series to start things off if the season ended today.
Really? And I having watched the Brewers this past week, Wow. That's a pitching staff. They shut down the
How do
Pirates.
the Brewers
The Pirates
do it every year. Every
yeah,
year.
they do it, but they're good, and their pitching staff is legit because what they did to the Pirates this week was impressive, just impressive. And and the Pirates have one of the best offensive, if not the best offense in baseball.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you got so many different teams that are still in it. I mean, that was one of the issues at the trade deadline. All right, we got Frank back.
I mean, guys, where's Al? Is Al around?
Al has nothing to do with your end. Okay, it's your
Well,
computer.
I don't know. I didn't hit a button, and I just couldn't get in till somebody let me in on my phone.
Well, now you're in. Whatever was going on with your laptop, you had a
Yeah, it's not the laptop or the phone, but let's go.
Okay, go ahead. Let's get guys. Look, okay. Red Sox, obviously, they're winning, doing fantastic. What do you see here? Dodgers just lost 7 in a row. Yankees don't have Aaron Judge. Things are topsy turvy. Just let's go around the horn, okay? Who do you see is going to be the shocker here that might get to an ALNL championship? Might get deep that we don't see. Saxman.
Maybe the Braves, but the Brewers are just so damn good in the pitching department, and they're so consistent. That's what impresses me and has impressed me about the Brewers. Obviously, I think the Dodgers are going to come back, but no one's going to surprise. No one's going to surprise at this point in the game. This season, you've got Phillies can come on. I worry about any team that makes changes and loses some chemistry. That's one of the reasons why I don't think Brewers made too many decisions to do that, because they have great chemistry. They got a great ball club, and they're winning. And good on them. I think the Pirates messed up with their own juju.
Brendan,
the Brewers have a good coach too. Pat Murphy and I played together in high school, and Pat Murphy is a real taskmaster, and he's a great coach. So I would not count the Brewers out.
Not at all. No, I agree with Saxman. I think that this trend is not going to continue for the Dodgers. They're going to start winning again. They're going to be right in the conversation, but. I also, and of course, the Brewers, they always find a way to be in the mix. But I see the Chicago Cubs also making some noise within the National League as well. I wouldn't write them off yet.
Vince,
I tell you, I got a chance to see Tampa play this week at Coors Field, and they are really good. They're young. They play with vigor. They run the bases extremely well, and they're doing it with a minimal payroll, just like they always do. I think this could be Tampa's year. National League, I want to root for the Brewers in a big kind of way. In fact, you mentioned it, Frank. I actually coached against Pat Murphy when he was at ASU. We played him one year, and a great guy, hard-nosed dude, man. And what he's done with Milwaukee is pretty good. But how do you bet against the Dodgers, even with their 7-game losing streak?
With your heart. For the good of America.
If
Tampa Bay played the Dodgers in the World Series, okay, just assume that was going to happen. The Dodgers at $440 million, Tampa Bay's at $111 million on a payroll. So, Coach, you're exactly right. They do more with less than anybody in baseball.
And they've done it for probably 15, 20 years.
Yeah. In a horrible stadium.
So they play basically in a cement truck masquerading as a baseball stadium.
That's the worst stadium
ever created by man. But they got the best record at home in the major leagues. They're almost unbeatable at home, and so they're another team. You know, if they got 4 games out of a 7-game thing at home, you know they're going to win 3 of them. Then they just got to steal a game on the road. Okay, I'll give you my up and I'll give you my fade. Let me give you my up, right? Here's my up. Watch out for the Diamondbacks. Watch out, right? They're in the hunt. They're going to make the playoffs. They hate the Dodgers. This team is better than meets the eye. They got they got balanced hitting. They play good defense. It's just a really good, solid team that's been under the radar screen. I'm going to start betting them. I like them. Here's a team I'm gonna fade. There's something wrong with the Mariners. This is a sick club. You look on paper, this team, Everybody picked them to win it. So I had people picking them to win the ALS by 10 games, right? They're not even going to make the playoffs. This team is tanked. There's something wrong in that clubhouse. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to fade them. So I'm going to up Diamondbacks, fade Mariners. The thing about fading the Mariners, every night they're a favorite. It doesn't matter who they play. Other than the Dodgers, they're a favorite, and they suck. So those are my plays.
Cal Raleigh. I mean, look at the year Cal Raleigh had last year, and he is just a shell of himself.
Yeah,
well,
that's between the years.
You got to take a blood test.
Yeah.
That's all I can.
Hey, boys, I gotta bounce. Great talking to you.
Thanks,
we'll
Vince.
see you next Saturday.
See you, Coach.
Go play 2.
Okay,
Great day to play
why don't we
too.
get on to let's get on to college football. Okay, this is the thing when we have these preseason polls, top 25, and Frank Zaccanelli said this on his show, which is really fantastic. Game on America, 6 to 7 p.m. And he said this, so I'm going to start with him. He said these polls are garbage. Like who's voting in them? Nobody knows about any of the teams or who they got in the portal, and they're just a joke. Frank, go ahead and elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, they mean nothing. The only poll that means anything is the last poll, where the 12 teams that are picked, basically by the poll, are in the playoffs. Everything else is conjecture at this point. It's the same thing in NCAA basketball. It's the same thing throughout. And the fact of the matter is that the games have to be played. Now, they could say Ohio State's the best team in the country. I don't think so. I think that they've lost a lot of players. They got a really good quarterback still. But, I don't think that they're the best. And they play a brutal schedule. Okay. Notre Dame doesn't play anybody. They don't play anybody. And that's a whole thing that we can get into. They're the only major now that's not in the conference. They don't play anybody. Their toughest game is at USC, which is my pick to surprise in the Big 22 or Big 18 or whatever the hell it's called now, the Big 10. So I think USC is going to have a real resurgence because their coach is really on the line. I mean, they got to do it. And they got plenty of money. So the polls, the only polls that really matter are the polls at the end of the season. And if you're a gambler, right, don't let these polls sway you in terms of how you're going to make your wagers, especially in the first 3 or 4 weeks. Don't let them sway you.
I never bet on the first couple of weeks in college football. They're kids. There's too many variables. To your point, you're spot on. Rankings are, they're not useless. It's a gauge. Okay, fine. They're kind of entertaining for the kids. But let's be honest. We have no idea how these teams are going to form up coming out of their training in the summer. So that's why we play the game. And that's why some teams like Indiana come out of almost nowhere. James Madison comes out of nowhere. Coastal Carolina one year, they're running up into the playoff system. That's the beauty of college football. But because there's so much movement of talent and labor, it's tough to track.
Yeah. I'll give you another big story, guys. And why don't we go around the horn with this one? Are the North Carolina Bill Belichick coached football squad, are they going to be a team that beats teams they're not supposed to be? And here's why I'm saying it. They've had so much adversity. Their GM now is under indictment or whatever the hell's going on with him. He got himself in trouble and got suspended. And Belichick's defensive coordinator, who happens to be his son, is now out on medical leave. So they've had a bump and another bump. But where does everybody come out on Carolina? Because here's the thing. Belichick didn't forget how to coach. He knows how to coach. And, are they going to be relevant this year? Because last year they were horrible. You couldn't even hardly watch them. Will they be relevant this year? I think it's a big story.
It's a big story because Bill Belichick's legacy is on the line here. And this was the risk he took when he went to the college ranks to coach. Here's the schedule. TCU.
Tough game.
East Tennessee win. At Clemson.
Tough game.
At home against Notre Dame.
Will not win that game.
at Pitt. At Duke.
Let me tell you, Pitt is going to be better than people think for all
Pitt's
our Pittsburgh fans.
Pitt's good. They got Syracuse at home, Miami. They got at Carolina. They got UConn at UConn, Louisville at Carolina, and then they play at UVA, and they finish up NC State, Carolina at the end of the season. That's the recipe for 6-6. It's not going to do it.
That's what I see. John, what do you see?
I'm betting against them every game.
Now, is that personal or professional?
I just want to make money.
Yeah.
So nothing against Belichick. Nothing
unless
against
they start
Bill.
performing. I don't see a reason.
We carried North Carolina on our Virginia Sports Network last year. We carried them because new coach Belichick coming in. I mean, our ratings tanked. Nobody tuned them in. They sucked. And now you got the scandal with this GM, and a guy comes in. We're the NFL's 33rd team or something. Now he's under indictment. I mean, I don't like the culture. That what's ever going on there is just not good. And I'm not sure he's got the players. And you rattled off those teams. He's not going to win any of those games. So
not going to win a lot of them. He's not going to.
I'm betting against them. Get nothing personal. I just want to cash out. Right.
All right, but let me ask a question though, John. What impact do you think the negativity around him has to do with his girlfriend, who's just shut up and sit in the corner? What piece of the negativity around Belichick is his girlfriend?
Frank,
that's quieted down.
Whether you're in athletics, politics, media, whatever you're doing, right? Saxman's organization, Brendan's work, whatever you're doing. If you have a distraction in your life that is a negative pull, I mean, it's going to have a negative output consequences. And so I really have no comment on their relationship. I hope it works out. But when you've got something that is a distraction that you got to deal with every day, it takes your focus off the issue at hand. And when you look at the most successful people, they have stability within their personal lives. Stability. And I don't think he has that now. And I think she's a distraction. And I think it's hurt him.
Yeah.
Well, it's not on the radar that much. When's the last time you heard about it in the news? I think the Carolina AD has shut that down and said, look, this is great. Happy to have Bill Belichick here, but this is still a business. And we have to run this business. Now, this can be your last year. You can keep up this nonsense, or you can keep this whole story on the sidelines. And I think Bill Belichick knows how to do that. And Bill Belichick knows his legacy is now on the line because he's middling in the ACC. He's not middling in the SEC or the Big Ten. He's middling in the ACC, which is like the fourth tier conference in college football. Talk about a step down.
Yeah.
He's risking a lot here for his legacy, and not for the money. He doesn't need the money, presumably.
Yeah, but you don't need distraction.
Look, God, no.
Case in point, as soon as Brendan Statler got engaged to that young lady and gave her a ring and he got stable, all his sales went up. Now he's selling like crazy.
Miles got to eat. He's feeding for two.
And do you know the NFL story as it relates to the significant other? Is Herbert for the Chargers is now engaged to a pop star. I don't know her name. Do you know her name, Chris? What's her name?
Madison Beer.
I'll be honest, she's pretty good looking, And
that's the shocking part. Come on.
No, she's pretty good looking. And there is some discussion that's out there that he's distracted. And so yeah. And so, I hope that's not the case because I'd like to see the Chargers, be pretty good this year.
I think Mick said it best in Rocky. Women weaken legs.
Yes.
Okay?
It's a good one.
Oh, man, I can't believe you said that. Let's
tell me I'm wrong.
It's
Mick. I just quoted Mick.
Move on.
It was a PG movie.
It's a family show.
It's a PG movie. Is it really? How many kids are up right now watching Godzilla Wins? Give me a break.
And we did get flagged for nudity at one point, apparently.
Oh, now wait a minute. Whoa. You got flagged for nudity?
You know why we got flagged? Because we call, and I was supposed to stop doing this. We call Chris Saxman Sax. So I'll say Sax. Now I'm saying it now. So Al, you got to cut this out. And so the algorithms on one of our social media networks, Facebook, pick that up as sex instead of sax. And so we kept getting flagged. So we have to say Chris or Saxman or Chris Saxman. Can't
All
say
right.
Sax.
All right. I didn't know that.
We
That's a
got down to the bottom
controversy.
of it. We're like, what is this?
Well,
And finally we
you can
got down to
imagine
the
how
bottom.
fun it was growing up with that name.
Well, it could be either good or bad, but
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, look, I mean, from the controversial standpoint, you're always going to have this, and frankly, the distractions do carry over into the locker room. They carry over into the field, and the best organizations, they really don't have these things. They deal with them early. They deal with them up front and get it out of the way because it is distracting as hell. I mean, why is North Carolina playing an international game in Ireland to start the season? That's not their. They should be playing like Lower Slobovia State and covering the spread.
Yeah.
Right?
St. Mary's of the Headless and Blind.
That's my school.
I mean, they're playing TCU in Ireland. Why?
Yeah.
That's just arrogance. That's just
why
arrogance
else?
and money.
Well, to wrap this segment up, my take on all this is the significant others ought to be seen but not heard that much as it relates to, their boyfriends or whatever. They should just be. Yeah, they should be seen and not heard too much.
And it's not just this. It's not just the significant others, the dating, whatever. It's also are you on commercials? I tend to fade the players I see on commercials more than anything else because they're not focused on the game as much. You never saw Tom Brady doing commercial endorsements growing up when he was dominating the league. You never saw Michael Jordan doing those kinds of things. He obviously had Air Jordan, but the best don't do these things. And every time I saw the Kansas City Chiefs doing this with all this State Farm nonsense, I'm like, that's not healthy for the organization. Travis Kelce, when he was dating, look at the Chiefs' record since he started dating Taylor Swift. Compare it.
It's hard to argue with that. I was thinking about that, Chris, and you hate to say it, but it became a distraction for the whole.
It's a factor.
Team.
It's a factor of your concentration.
And that's why I'm betting against the Tar Heels every single game. I have no problem with the organization. I like Chapel Hill, but they got too many distractions, and now they got this GM. And then this level of arrogance they came in with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got all these other, coaches out there, and they got GMs and they got, ADs, and they come in with this level of arrogance, where the NFL's 33rd team. Like what? You just shut up and go out and play the game, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let you, like my son says, I'll let my talking, come out of the mound. That's it. I need to say anything. I need to get people out. That's it. I'll let that do the talking.
There was a guy who showed up for the Steelers training camp. I think it was Kimo Van Alhoff. Maybe Brendan Statler will remember this guy. He showed up to training camp with a toothbrush, and that's it. A toothbrush. That guy wants to play football, right?
Exactly.
That guy wants to make the team.
That guy was a beast.
All right, let's get. We got to do over under on Titans, right? Because I'm going to the first game. V Jets over under on Titans. Winning for the season 7.5. I don't think that's a good line. I'm betting the over, but that's look, they're going to win 8 games. Titans are going to win 8 games, but let's go around the horn. I don't think Frank is too high on that. Frank, so we'll start with you.
No, I'm not too high on it. They were, I think, John, you'll remember from yesterday's show, at 240 or 340 to make the playoffs, plus 340.
Plus 340.
Plus 340 to make the playoffs. I say no. I'd love to take plus 340 too. I mean, that's the kind of bet I like making. I just think that Ward needs another year or two. Mm-hmm. They need to mature a little bit around him. The offensive line has got to get a little bit better. Defensively, they're okay. I root for them because I love Nashville. I love all of our viewing audience from Nashville. But I don't see how they're going to win 8 games. I don't see it.
Let's run down before we start talking. Let's run down the schedule, and you just start making tick marks on your sheet there.
Okay.
Jets at Nashville.
Win.
Eagles at Nashville.
Lose. Lose.
Titans at Giants.
Win.
Lose.
Titans at Ravens.
Lose.
Texans at Titans.
Win.
That's one that's one that they could win. Houston, I'm fading Houston in a big way this year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Titans at Colts.
No, that's a loss.
Lose.
Browns at Titans.
Win.
They're going to win that one.
Titans at Bengals.
Yeah, that's a complete L if Burrow's playing. If Burrow's out, they can win that one.
Jags at Titans.
Win.
Titans at Cowboys.
Win.
No. And I'm a New York Football Giants fan for all the listeners. I'm not a Cowboy fan. I live in Dallas. That's a loss. Go ahead.
Murray got
Titans
seven wins. Go
at
ahead.
Jacksonville.
What?
Titans at Jacksonville.
That's a loss.
Loss.
Commanders at Titans.
Win.
Titans at Lions.
Lose.
Lions.
Colts at Titans.
Colts.
Titans at Raiders.
Win.
That's possible. That's a possible win.
I got 9 wins.
No. John's got 9 wins. I got 6 wins.
Steelers at Titans.
Steelers at Titans.
Well, that's another game that the Titans could. That'll be a low-scoring game. Is Aaron Rodgers going to be in the hospital at that point? Is he playing?
Watch your whore mouth. Titans at Texans.
Oh, lose.
Yeah, they lose that one.
There's your schedule.
I think we win 8 games.
Yeah, nine's not out. Nine's possible. 7's likely.
Yeah, so I mean it's 7.5. I think it's a good bet.
Yeah.
And but look, they're going to win more than 3 games. Which they won the last 2 seasons. I like Cam.
Oh, that's for sure. What's the line on that?
Robert,
give me a line on that. Yeah.
On what?
On over 3 games. I'll take it.
Probably like minus 500.
I'd even lay that. They'll win more than 3 games.
Yeah, they're going to win more than 3 games.
Who?
The Titans.
Oh,
right. Now we're going to get some picks here. Let me start with something that's coming up at 11 o'clock today, which is, you don't want to miss this, guys. Even if you're not a racehorse fan, you don't want to miss this. Past the Wire Racing with John Stenton's coming up at 11 o'clock. He's got 2 major picks. Now, let me tell you how much we believe in this guy, right? So we live in D.C., which, we got all the apps here and all the sports books here, but you can't bet horse racing in D.C. So DraftKings Horse, MGM Horse, can't bet it online. So yesterday he gave me a play, right? So I really wanted to play it, but I couldn't do it online. I can't do it at the kiosk, and I don't have time to go to MGM, which is, takes me 40 minutes on the train. So I went to the Metro. True story. I went to the Metro. I went 3 stops to Roslyn. I got off. I bet the horse. I got on the other side of the tracks. I went back. I came back to my office, and I ate my lunch.
And the horse broke down. Yeah, no, I got the whole story. Yeah,
the horse broke down, but now he's got 2 winners today that he says are locks. And Ann is like, "We're going to MGM, baby. As soon as that show's over, get your ass home. We're going to MGM." I think John Stenton's going to get hot, and I'm going to be riding that train.
All right. Well, let me tell you, he's my partner, and he's going to be doing the racing show. Please tune in. But on the main show, he picked the Whitney. And in the Whitney pick, John, you know what this is. Whitney's a huge race at Saratoga, and he picked 2 horses. One is going off 10-1, and one is going off 3-1. And he picked the horses, and the pick for him is Antiquarium, the 3-horse in the Whitney in race 12. He's going off 10-1. He thinks the horse is ready to go. Sovereignty is in the race, and he's a little worried about Sovereignty. So in some exotics, I'm going to play the 3-horse and Sovereignty. But that's the way we're going to play it. But there's no question about it. His show is now on right after the show. He's the best handicapper in the United States of America. Watch the show because you'll get a lot of insight. You could make some money.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that. Let's get to your baseball picks tonight. Sometimes we run out of time. I don't want to do that, but there's a big Saturday schedule today, and I'm going to start off as you guys are deciding what to do here. And the first game that I'm going to start with, Orioles Rangers, and I like Baltimore today on the road. Why do I like the O's? They got Kyle Bradish going. Jacob deGrom, the guy can't win a game. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. He pitches okay. He can't win a game. And Kyle Bradish has been very tough. Orioles only a game out. They're playing better since they got rid of their catcher. So I like the Orioles today. Texas is just losing every day. Won a couple games, but I like the Orioles here. And so I'm going to take them on the road. I'm going to take plus 125 with them. That is my first pick today. And let me get to my other one so I can very quickly give you guys the rundown. The other pick that I really love today is the Nationals at home over the Reds. I like Andrew Alvarez today. Nationals minus 131. Chase Burns, he's been getting lit up in the last couple starts. Washington, best hitting team in baseball. So those are my two plays today, Nationals at home and Orioles on the road. I can't watch either game because I don't subscribe to MS Masson, right? What is that? Masson. Yeah, there's no way I'm paying for that when I already pay for MLB, so I'm not doing that. But
yeah, you lose enough on sports as it is.
Yeah.
No. Plus he'll be at the racetrack, just going crazy. So he's all right.
Yeah, I'm good. So those are my two picks. Anybody else up, Brendan?
Yeah, tonight I'm going to let my hate for the Los Angeles Dodgers continue to flow, and I'm going to pick the Diamondbacks to beat them today.
No.
Plus 145. Yes, Chris.
No. Opposite pick.
Hey, they're losing right now. You got to fade them when they're losing. Come on.
The streak ends tonight. Yamamoto's on the mound.
Hey, Chris, that's my pick. The streak ends tonight.
Why?
Because they're not going to lose. They're not going to lose 8 in a row. And if they start winning,
lose 7 in a row.
They're going to win tonight. And I think they're going to win the next 2 or 3 or 4 games. They're too good. They got too many players.
Yamamoto's on the mound.
Yamamoto. I mean, who's he going against?
What was his name there? Faft.
Yeah. So how you pronounce that name?
Faf.
There you go.
That guy lobs it in. What's he throw at? About 85 miles an hour?
This the algorithms are going to go crazy here on that one.
No, let me tell you what. I could go 2 for 4 against that guy. Forget it. It's
he's
the Dodgers
okay.
tonight. I got it. No, I know he's a good pitcher.
And bet the Mets to beat the Pirates tonight. The Pirates cannot do anything right at the moment.
Okay, I'm betting the Pirates. Every time you bet against the Pirates, you lose. Bad juju. I tell you guys over and over, never bet against your team.
You're right.
If I've said this, you guys defy me, and you lose every single time. It is bad juju. It's bad for the soul. It's bad for your wallet. It's all bad.
I get it.
If that'll get us wins, I'm putting $2 against the Pirates every game. Until we get the streak here.
The other one I have tonight is the Red Sox stay hot. They've got Bennett on the mound. They're playing the Athletics. Fade the Athletics, and they're in Boston. LA is your double up tonight.
Yeah. The Dodgers streak ends tonight. They go on a couple game winning streak. They got too much talent.
Too much. Yep.
I also like, I'm going to bet them. People are going to say, well, whatever. But I'm going to bet the Astros again tonight with Lambert at San Diego. I've lost so much money on San Diego this year. I can't even add it up because, as everybody knows, I bet streaks. Should have been betting against the Dodgers. And I keep waiting for San Diego to get hot. And they'll win 2 games, and I'm like, here it is. I'm going to get the 9-game heater. I'm going to win 7 in a row. Bet them on the 3rd game, they lose. I mean, I can't win a bet on this team. I don't. What is wrong with them? I mean, a great team on paper. Everything is great. They got Mason Miller. I mean, best closer in history of baseball or something. They got Machado. They got Tatis. They just don't win. What is wrong with the Padres, Frank?
I don't think I have the answer to that. I think that basically they've got a really good lineup. They've got a decent pitching staff. I think they play, again, they play the Dodgers. They're in a tough division. They got to play the Giants. And, some teams, just because they're really good on paper, they don't win. And, it could be a combo platter of coaching. It could be a combo platter of having a few guys that are trouble in the locker room. It could be a million things. But I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to give you an angle tonight. This is an angle, all right? You're never going to get the Dodgers playing the Diamondbacks at the number you're getting tonight because it is a 7-game losing streak. So from an analytical gambling standpoint, you're getting the Dodgers cheap tonight.
Well, they're minus 171.
That's unbelievably cheap. I have predicted they're not going to go under 300 with the roster that they've got. I mean, you take a look at where they are. They're 320, 350. They're 170 tonight. Now they're on the road.
Yeah, but you want to lay 170 on the road against one of the Diamondbacks' best pitchers, and they've lost 7 in a row. Why is that a value bet?
Because it's a value bet. Because if they didn't lose 7 in a row, it'd be 250. So that's the value play tonight. Is that the number is affected by the streak, and so that's why they play the games. I mean, Chris and I'll be talking all night saying John's going to lose this bet, but the bottom line is I think they win the night, and the strategic play is you're getting them cheap. Because they'd never be 171 if they had a 7-game win streak. They'd be 250, 280, even against that pitcher. So that's my philosophy on gambling anyway. I think you're stealing some value here.
I don't like the bet.
All right.
We'll see what happens. That's why we
Go
have
Diamondbacks.
By the way, if you or someone has a gambling problem,
like someone who gets on the subway and drives 3 stops and
like somebody like that. Call Betty Ford Clinic, but not Betty Ford anymore. She's out of business, but used to call Betty Ford. John, who do you call when you get on the subway?
And
that's a very, very, very smart answer.
I'm going out for a soda. I'll be right back.
I asked her, hey, I need you to put another $100 in my DraftKings account. It's basically what I do.
That's the smartest thing I've heard in 2 hours. That is the right play.
Jesus.
So anyway, call 1-800-GAMBLER and don't take the train to Roslyn. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
As you're going down the stairs to the subway, don't call the gambling disclaimer. Do it on the way back.
Yeah. And Betty Ford's out of business, so don't call her either.
Oh, look, McPherson to Roslyn, it's like 3 stops. It's like 7 or 8, 10 minutes. You go right to Roslyn, you get off the train, you put in your bet, because now you're in Virginia, and you go right across the other side, you go back up. The whole thing is 20 minutes.
It's just another bet, Doc. It's okay. I've got this one figured out. It's a sure thing.
The horse doesn't get out of the gate. He stumbles out of
no. My partner, John Stinton, 11 o'clock, right after the show, you'll learn a hell of a lot. Basically, he was distraught. He said, "Oh, my God, did you see that?" I said, "Yeah, I saw it."
We're going to MGM today. We're going to bet. Ant's fired up. Ant's like, I think this guy's going to get hot, and I'm getting on that John Stetton train. So she says, get your butt home after the show. We're going to MGM, and we'll see what happens.
And the Whitney, the big race, the 12th race, Antiquarium, the 3-horse, and I believe that Sovereignty is either the 7 or the 8 horse. Play with those 2.
He says he's got one more great winner lock coming up.
Can I tell you what? It's a single in the pick 5. I'm not going to tell you it's a single in the pick 5.
He's hot. He's gonna get hot. Hands all over it. So okay.
So where can we go to get all these picks, John? For our audience who can't follow our insanity.
Yeah, you go to Pass the Wire, and then you got to join the best money you could ever invest is join the Wire Room. You join the Wire Room. John's joined the Wire Room. I'm in the Wire Room, and you get it all. And it's cheap. It's $28 or something a month. You can't spend money better than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good deal. Just go to passthewire.com, passthewire.com. You can get it there. And for our baseball picks, certainly for me and for Statler, not Saxman, he's not on there. Go to GodzillaWins.com, GodzillaWins.com. I get my picks up about 12 o'clock today. So just go to GodzillaWins.com. Had a winner last night. Cardinals. 3-2, won a squeaker, but a win's a win, right? Doesn't matter if you win 10-1 or 3-2. You got, my father said, there's only 2 kinds of tickets, son. One you take to the window, the other one you put in the trash. Window tickets are better. Guys, I want to thank you for being on Godzilla Wins. I want to thank Al Green, Frank, my man, Zaccanelli. Thank you, Frank. Chris Saxman, the indelible one. Brendan Statler. Go to WVSportsNation.com. Thanks for joining us today. Pass the Wire Racing coming up right now on the John Fredericks Media Network. We will see you Monday, 6 a.m. bright and early. Have a great weekend. Gamble responsibly. If you do have a gambling problem, just call 1-800-GAMBLER. See you Monday. Thank you.